Welcome back to the channel. Today I wanted to make a quick short video about these EZHOBI Shin Godzilla figures that I've seen circulating on Instagram. Just as a heads up, this video might not be completely accurate at the time of this recording. We don't have actual listings yet for these figures. The information that I'm getting this is based off of this account, k.n.lin. I believe this person works for EZHOBI, and they've been basically posting these pictures of these figures. For those of you who are unfamiliar with the company, they're similar to X Plus, although they're much more recent. I don't know how far back they really go, but they've become more popular, I would say, in the last year or so with their Omega Beast series, which is basically their equivalent of Gigantic series Godzilla figures. More specifically, the Atomic Breath Shin Godzilla they've done, and then they've done a gigantic scale King of the Monsters Godzilla, and I believe some like Death-for-Real style figures as well. But anyway, in regards to these specific Shin Godzilla figures, I believe there is also a Form 3 that I saw a picture of a while back, a prototype image of the figure. There's nothing I could find at the time of this recording. Hopefully, in the coming months, I'll have official listings that I could post about, because I definitely want to bring you guys news about these figures because they look really good. We have Kamata-kun here, and we have Shin Godzilla in his fourth form. I'm going to start with the fourth form Shin Godzilla first, just because there's less full pictures that we have. There is basically one official image, I guess, of the Kamata-kun that I've already shown at this point, but we'll talk more about that later. As for the fourth form Shin Godzilla, I believe this is going to be based off of these images here in the Omega Beast series. Like I said, this will be their equivalent of the Gigantic series. So this will basically be a closed mouth version of Shin Godzilla, which makes sense considering they started with the Atomic Breath Shin Godzilla. Now, these are just prototype images that we have here. It's probably just unpainted, which is why it's black and white. Or maybe they just did the photos in black and white. This is somewhat speculative at this point, but I'm just basing it off of these images on this account here on Instagram. That aside, the sculpt looks stunning. This looks really impressive. Of course, this comes out, or these images start to circulate right after I pre-order the X Plus re-release of the Gigantic Shin Godzilla in the clear vinyl. Right now, it's too soon to say whether or not I will acquire this piece because I was hesitant about even getting the X Plus one just because of how big it is. Granted, though, that was a grail of mine, so definitely I'm excited to get that in hand eventually when that comes out. But as for this, I don't know, because as much as I love the X Plus one, and I will be getting it, I wish they had a different pose for the figure. I'm not too big on like that kind of twisty look around the torso section. I do like the Kyoto one for its very simple forward-facing stance, and I think this Omega Beast series one might be more along the lines of that in terms of its pose. Now, switching gears to the Kamata-kun figure, this one is really interesting because it's very dynamic looking, not just in its pose, but there's also this one image that I'm going to show you here from that Instagram account that has this interesting accessory piece. And then on EZHOBI's website, there's this whole other image here with Kamata-kun and a building that's tipping over, which would be really cool if this is actually included in the official release. But again, I will say that this is speculative right now on my end. I don't know what the official release will actually entail, if these effects will even be included. So only time will tell with that. Now, there's quite some information to take just from this one Instagram post here. First, starting, I guess, with the dimensions of this figure. It goes by 20 centimeters high and 50 centimeters long. So basically that equates to a little bit over 7 inches tall and just under 20 inches long. So it's going to be a sizable figure. Comparable, I'm guessing, in size to the X Plus Kamata-kun that was released. And I do believe, I saw something else a while back. I don't remember from what, but I do believe that this Kamata-kun and the Form 3 that I don't have pictures of are in scale with this Gigantic scale, or Omega Beast scale Shin Godzilla. The portion that I have here circled in red says $73.99 New Taiwan dollars, which would equate to about $247 and change in USD. Granted, we can't say for sure that that will be the actual price. If it's being imported and we're getting it through retailers like Big Bad Toy Store or Awesome Collector, they might wind up being a little more expensive, but we can't say for certain yet. I'm not going to make any assumptions. We just have to wait and really see what the price will be for us US collectors. Now, based off of two details here on this post that I also circled in red here, the fact that it says benefits included and then says set for sale, I believe does suggest that those accessories that I just showed you, we'll take a closer look at again in a second, will actually be part of this figure, which would be really exciting and cool to have with a Kamata-kun. But please keep in mind that I was using Instagram translation for the post itself, so it might not be totally accurate. I'm kind of just making a guess here, but based off of that, it does seem to be the case for this figure. So as for this first accessory piece, we're looking here at obviously a black and white image, but it looks to be a couple of pools of blood that, like in the film, pour out of the gills of Kamata-kun as it reaches land for the first time. So if this is the case, and this is actually in the official release, I think this is such a cool accessory to have for a figure like this, because it really would lend further to the idea of it being like in motion. Also, it would be really cool to have like this mid-motion liquid as an accessory. I think that's really interesting, and I'm sure it would look amazing for toy photography and just for dioramas and setups in people's collections. And now for the second thing, I don't know which I like more, the blood or the building. I think both of them are equally awesome. So obviously this is coming straight from that scene in the movie where Kamata-kun is attempting to stand on its hind legs, but in doing so knocks over that building. That's that scene being replicated here in this image. It's the only picture I have here that's straight from EZHOBI's website. But if this is the case, and this is included in the set, this is awesome. I would absolutely love to have an in-scale building with a Kamata-kun kind of like just crushing it. I'm guessing that based off of both accessories, you can display it one way or the other, because I don't think you can probably physically have the blood with it, with the building in place and fit it all together. But it would be cool just to have options to begin with. Accessories is not really something I'm used to having with figures for the most part, since I collect mostly X Plus and Sofubi type toys. But it would be definitely make this figure more worth it, I guess, for people who have the X Plus Kamata-kun already. I think this one, so far, based off all of this, does make this figure seem more distinct and worth it, in my opinion. Of course, we have to wait and see, though, what the actual price winds up being, though. Of course, once we have official listings for these figures, I will absolutely be doing a follow-up video when we have official information. I don't want anyone to take my word for it right now until EZHOBI and retailers actually have prices and dimensions put out. But regardless, based off of these pictures, I just got so excited with how these figures looked that I really wanted to talk about them. Of course, you know, I love Shin Godzilla, and I know a lot of you guys do too, so... and, you know, based off of the success of the Omega Beast Atomic Breath Shin Godzilla, I figured a lot of you guys would probably be interested in this version of Shin Godzilla as well. I'm more inclined toward a closed mouth Shin Godzilla, so if I do wind up getting it, I'll be very happy to add it to my collection. The Kamata-kun is something I'm definitely considering getting. Of course, it depends at the end of the day on how much it will wind up being imported through whatever American retailer. But ultimately, if I don't get any of these figures, I still think they look really good. For the most part, I've never really been interested in any of EZHOBI's releases. It's not to say that they're bad at all, but it's just that they've never really hit the mark for me up until this point so far. Now, granted, the fourth form Shin we're seeing here is in black and white, so the final official product images might wind up changing my mind. I don't know about that yet. We still haven't seen full body pictures yet of that figure. But the Kamata-kun, if that is going to look like what it does in the picture, that colored picture, it's a very impressive looking figure that I think is on par with the X Plus release of the Kamata-kun. And if those accessories do come with it, I think it'll be one of the coolest and most dynamic pieces that I would have in my collection if I decided to get it. Anyway, if you like this video, please leave a like, consider subscribing, take a look at my other Godzilla figure content, and comment down below if you have any other releases from EZHOBI and what you think about these particular figures that I took a look at today. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.